Today we have an experiencer of people appearing and disappearing, or I should say, it was your friend who had experienced you disappearing.
Yeah.
So we'll just have a casual here.
Yeah, so I'd say a few years back, a friend and I decided to go up to Gosselville.
It's across from Gozeville. Yeah,
Gosselville.
Actually, it's pronounced Gazeville, but it looks nothing like it is in its, how it's spelled. So.
Yeah. So.
But
we
you're
were
on the
going there.
south end, across 147th, right?
That's correct.
So.
Yeah, we parked.
Oak Park Ave.
Yeah, a small parking lot off of Oak Park and like 152nd or something like that.
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. So we had parked there, walked about 10 minutes down the path and through the woods to the site that we usually hang out at.
Now, you thought it was a post office, right? Back there?
Yeah, with all the concrete slabs and
right.
kind of strange pipes and
It
things.
should have been an old farm, but they had some manufacturing thing going on.
Right, yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff like that in the woods.
Yeah.
And we went to our favorite spot. We were going to have like a small fire, and I had forgotten my lighter. So I'm making my way out, and I decided to go alone.
So your friend was staying back?
Yeah, I had left her in the woods there, and we had come to the spot like a few times, so, you know.
Should have been cozy enough for her to wait.
Yeah. And that's what I felt like at first when I was like walking back to the car. But then shortly after, I had gotten out of the forest through to the clearing, the path, and I started feeling nervous about her, leaving her there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, maybe that wasn't the greatest idea, even though it's a sunny day. Should be.
Did you
all right.
almost turn around, or did you just keep going? Or?
I just started moving faster.
Okay, kind of like the hurry up.
Kind of like hurrying up. Yeah, I'm like, all right, maybe I should just like, better be safe than sorry, and just try to get there quicker. So went back to the car, got the lighter, headed back, and by the time I got back, I noticed my friend.
These walks were like 10 minutes each way, you were saying, right?
It's about 10 minutes each way, yeah. I would
so-
say so, but if with me kind of hustling, maybe
So,
15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
15-minute round trip maybe or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Because at some points I was kind of like jogging back.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
So when you got back, you saw her?
Yeah, I met up with my friend, and she looked just kind of, she was looking around, not saying much. And I said, what's going on? 'Cause I
Something
got
was
the
off.
feeling- Yeah, something's off about her. She said, I just saw you in the woods through that clearing, and she's pointing like to the north. And that's not the way that I had been going, so
Not the
It
total
was-
opposite, but it was definitely not from that
definitely not
direction.
the direction that I came from.
How was she first? How did she first get to see you that way? I mean, you said she heard something.
Yeah, she had heard my voice specifically call her name in an assertive, kind of aggressive way, like as if she didn't hear me, trying to get her attention.
Okay.
Called her name out. So when she had gone to look in that direction of where that voice came from, she had seen me across the clearing. Which maybe when she described it to me, it was probably about 50 feet away, something like that. And she had seen me, and I was beckoning her to come over to me, saying like, "Oh, come here."
Didn't you before you said you were? She saw you waving, or was
Yeah,
it
like
something like
beckoning,
that?
like,
that
"Come
kind of
here,"
thing. Okay.
kind of thing.
I thought maybe it was like waving in the air,
No,
hand,
just-
just kind of like, okay.
Like,
I
come
get it.
over here.
Yeah. This was like the last time you told me the story. I
It
thought
might
it was
have
like
been.
waving. I don't
Hey,
know. I don't
come
know.
over here. Something
I'm
like
just trying to get
that.
a replay of like
Yeah.
all the little details, because this is pretty interesting stuff.
Well, definitely getting the attention with the voice and hearing her name. Like, I do remember that's how she saw it to begin with, was that she heard.
You're saying it saw you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me. I don't think that was me because I'm me, but, or maybe it is in some other version.
I guess we'll try to figure that out later.
Yeah. But she knew that it wasn't me, and she felt very unsettled when this was taking place.
So obviously she didn't walk to you.
No.
To the
she
other you.
Definitely did not. She knew it was not me because I was wearing different clothes.
Okay, that'll freak you out. Which, yeah, you said it did a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would freak me out if I saw my buddy, wearing not the same clothes we just came with.
Right. Completely different. Not even for the season. Like, it wouldn't have made sense.
I never really asked you, or maybe you didn't say, like, did she say you just disappeared, or did you walk away, or what happened? I don't remember what happened.
I can't say for 100%. I don't really remember. That's hazy for me.
Yeah, the bigger because you weren't there.
Right, I wasn't there.
Supposedly you
and
weren't
it was
there.
just a strange story that she had told me about my absence, basically.
Right.
You know, what happened to her account of it. And then after that, she was kind of shooken up, so she just, that's what she told me.
You guys didn't have the fire then, right? You left?
No, we left, yeah.
You left.
Because she was really spooked, and at that point I was kind of like looking around, curious, but at the same time I didn't want to stay if she was uncomfortable, so we left. But
Wow.
that was very strange.
I would have walked up to.
Yeah.
If I would have, if I see, especially if it was myself, but if I would have seen my friend, I would have been like, oh, the hell with it. I'm just going to walk up and say hello anyway. I'm like, that's my friend. My friend ain't going to hurt me, right? So.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the input. And apparently this is not the first time you've been witnessed appearing and disappearing. We won't talk about that right now.
Okay.
But because this is Bachelors Grove related. But I just wanted to go on the record, that sometimes I notice there's a pattern in these conversations, even outside the Grove, people appearing and disappearing supposedly. It's more than one occasion for them. I mean, I've only been reported once, walking out the path, maybe somebody will see it again. I just chalked this up to time. I mean, what did you think it was?
One of the first things I thought of was, is it like a fumble in time, different timelines coming through, maybe piercing a veil of some sort,
Right.
And slipping into our timeline.
Because like when I saw that Richie, the ghost, so to speak, here at the Grove, he was wearing the same clothes. The ghost Richie was still wearing the same clothes as the Richie that was there that day. Mm-hmm. And though it's common for him to usually wear the same damn clothes all the time, he did have some differences that day. Okay, so I just chalked it up to time. Yours is different because the clothing you were wearing, that she saw you wearing, was different than what you were wearing that day.
Right.
So, and the type of clothing, we won't give that detail away just yet. It was kind of odd the way you described it.
Yeah.
It would not be something you would normally wear on an average day.
Right.
But you were known to have wore these clothes before. So.
That's correct.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't have any official answers, obviously, but it's definitely the person that I'm speaking of, that I'm friends with. She wouldn't have just
made up a story like that?
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Well, you obviously knew something was off when you first walked up.
Yeah.
And most people that are going to pull something like that, it's not their natural way of being anyway, I mean, you're going to see them more. You're going to not just, I would say you'd see them more like get ready to do something. Like they're going to pull something on you, right?
Right, like a prank.
But no, you walk up and this person's in a very awkward, fucked up, whatever state, something's not right kind of state. Yeah, so they're not.
To the point where we left. I mean, if she was
right.
making it up, we would have stayed.
She walked out there. She waited for you. She's having a boring ass day until she saw you disappear, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I mean you would have stayed. So there's a psychological factor right there, for you. It's a shame you couldn't have been there to see yourself, to meet yourself.
I know, it's a bummer.
Well, someday it'll happen to you folks, but I don't think you want to give your name up, but it's up to you if you want to tell anybody who you are.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm Cassie Scalise.
And you actually used to be with the Grove Restoration Project, at least for a day or two, right?
Yeah, back
so,
in high school.
I don't know how many times you came out. I remember you being out there at least once, for sure.
Yeah, a few times.
So, if you ever saw me out there, how wrapped up I get in things, it's like, I don't talk to that many people. Everybody show up, have a good time, let's go home. We did a good job. So, but yep, good old volunteer got to witness some weird stuff at the Grove. Well, what I think is the Grove anyway. Because the spot where you had witnessed some of this, or your friend had, I talked about this on some other episodes, where not as a psychic prediction, but I predicted like, okay, that type of activity, that specific type of activity, should be happening eventually in that area, based upon some sciencey stuff.
And
But
it is a part of Bachelor's Grove.
I would consider it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's the weird stuff that gets reported around here. I'm even hearing things in people's homes at this point, how weird it gets. Just how weird it gets. And the homes are not that far from here. I mean, they're like the first cluster of homes, you know, or whatever. But it's really weird shit. It just makes you wonder about the area. So, anyways, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And hopefully everybody can learn something from this episode. So, take care.
Bachelor's Grove.